It was a busy week 4 around the NFL, and first things first, I am man enough to admit when I am wrong. Me and Mikey over here did some previews last week, and both of my picks were not just wrong, but out of left field. Mikey, we're going to start off with the Eagles and the Buccaneers. I picked the Eagles to win that game. They end up losing 33 to 16. The injuries were just too much to overcome. We'll start with you, man. What do you think about that game?
Well, even despite the injuries, you still had them winning. You told me that. But, you were wrong. And I feel like a bit of bias dictated your decision as well. But, the Buccaneers, they eliminated them in the playoffs last year. Eagles hasn't showed us anything different this season. The secondary is horrendous. The defense is subpar. So I'm not sure why you thought they would beat the Buccaneers on the road at that.
All right, Leo.
I just don't think the Eagles can rely on Saquon Barkley every game. I mean, we saw this in week 2. Saquon dropped the pass that ultimately led to the Eagles losing on primetime, and it just can't keep happening. These receivers, they got to stay healthy, but that's not on them. I think the Saints were very dirty in week 3, and that's unfortunately not Philly's fault. However, the secondary, they've got to clean that up. They've got to clean that up really fast. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has allowed a touchdown in every game this season, which I don't think that many secondary players have done this year. And Darius Slay, third worst coverage in the NFL. I mean, former Pro Bowler, he's got to step it up big time.
There is a lot to clean up in the Eagles secondary, that is for sure. Another pick I got wrong, I did pick the Bills last week to beat the Ravens. Of course, the Ravens dominate the game. They win 35-10, a laugher. And so, Mikey, what do you think about the Ravens improving to 2-2 on the season?
The 2-2, they're much better than 2-2. But like I told you as well, the Bills, they only played the Cardinals, who's an average team. They played Jacksonville Jaguars, who's currently 0-4, and a beat-up Miami team. And the only Superman we acknowledge in the NFL is Cam Newton. Josh Allen's not no Superman, all right? So I told you as well last week, Ravens would win. They came in and they just dominated because the Bills, they met a competent team in the Baltimore Ravens, and they showed their true colors.
Leo?
I got to agree with you, Mikey. The Buffalo Bills have had such an easy schedule up to this week. And the Ravens, I think the Ravens' mindset for going into this Week 4 game was they really had to get their swagger back. They had 2 very tough losses, one in primetime to the Chiefs, which still breaks my soul, and another brutal loss to the Raiders, which should not have happened to begin with. So during this primetime Sunday Night Football, Ravens just had to get back. They had to get back big. Derrick Henry, really well, 2 touchdowns. Justice Hill even had a receiving touchdown. Overall, running backs were great. Lamar Jackson, phenomenal as always. And amazing win for Harbaugh's Ravens.
Yeah, Derrick Henry rushed for 199 yards in the game. So that'll tell you the story right there.
He's the reason why I lost my fantasy matchup too. So.
Yeah, and another game we previewed last week, the Washington Commanders against the Arizona Cardinals, a battle between the 2 big rookies, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr. Mikey, now this is one you got wrong. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that game?
Yeah, so that's a rarity. I'm not usually wrong, so you won't hear this often. But Jaden Daniels is him. I said last week I want to see it again. I'm not gonna go off of just one game. I want to see more of it, and that's exactly what he did. Jaden Daniels, he got the Commanders sitting at the top of the NFC East, and he's really shown us who he is right now.
And now, prime time. We had the Lions, we had the Seahawks, we had 2 Monday night games, but let's talk about the one that everybody else is talking about right now. Jared Goff, perfect game. The first perfect game in NFL history. He went 18 out of 18 for 2 touchdowns. And so we're going to start with Leo now. Leo, what were your thoughts of that Lions-Seahawks game? What an exciting one that was.
Personally, I have not enjoyed a Monday Night Football game in a long time. That game was special. Jared Goff, obviously, 18 for 18. That has not happened before. That is incredible, especially from Jared Goff and the Lions. Geno Smith was also phenomenal. And again, it was a great game to watch. Lions eventually took it home, and I really hope to see more of that from the NFL in the future, especially with these 2 games every Monday night. I hope that the NFL can definitely have some great matchups in Monday night for ESPN in the future.
Mikey, one last quick thought.
Yeah, great game from Jared Goff. Not only was he 18 for 18, but he had a receiving touchdown as well from none other than Amon-Ra St.
The
Brown.
Detroit special.
Exactly. And Detroit is looking very good. They're probably the favorites in the NFC under Dan Campbell, great coach. So I'm excited for the rest of the season. Great game, high scoring. That's what primetime football is all about. It was a great watch, and we might be the best Monday night football game of the season as well. So we should definitely cherish that one.
All right, that'll do it for our NFL recap this week. We're going to toss it to Thomas and Josh with WWE.